Every lady craves a man who's good at digging her guts until she bursts. That's what separates the Chads from the Simps. Chads can do anything to blow your brains out, and many men don't know how to do that. If you really want to up your sex game, here's a few things you should do. Number 1, build tension. Building sexual tension before smashing is very important. Now, there are times when you don't need to do this. Sometimes she's already horny and may not need you to stimulate her. But most times, you need to do a few things to put her in the mood, and it's not hard. Even a single tender graze across the small of her back or giving her a naughty look while biting your lips might flip the switch in her brain. Over the years, we've learned that negatives, pushes, and emotional spikes can be used to build sexual tension. Sadly, these techniques have been misused a lot, leading to uncomfortable situations. Following the basics at best will give you the results that you need. First, start by looking into her eyes. She might probably smile and ask what you're looking at, and that's your cue to tell her she looks so good. And then just watch her melt before your eyes. 2, kiss and tell. Sex starts from the mind, and if your mind's convinced that you're having awesome sex, your body will follow suit. First, you need to learn how to make her enjoy the things you do in bed. Women have a huge imagination when it comes to sex, and they tend to mostly rely on their feelings more than visual appearances. If you want to get her wet before the show, you need to arouse her mind by using the right words. Talk dirty. Tell her what you want to do to her, and talk about her favorite fantasies. As long as you excite her mind with your seductive words, she will have an orgasm that will drip down there. 3, foreplay. For many guys, after building some level of sexual tension, all they want to do is just hump away for 5 minutes like a sex-starved maniac and call it a day. If that works, fine for you, cool, but in the long run, you're gonna have to do more. Just because you're ready doesn't mean she is. She's not a cum bucket for you, but if a lady has agreed to sleep with you, you need to shift your mindset away from getting laid to how long and intense you can make sex for her. And that's where foreplay comes in. Think of it like a sport. It's not just about playing for fun, it's about scoring the goals, beating the high score, or getting the trophy. The modes of foreplay tend to vary from one girl to another. While some women are easily predictable when it comes to foreplay, like kissing, licking, touching, others require a bit more complex steps. Some girls may like roleplay, dirty talk, hair pulling, all that stuff. The choices are endless, but you need to know which one works for both of you. 4, keep your pants steady. It feels good to have a naked woman in bed while you're partially clothed. This will also help in stopping her from rushing the whole experience. More often than not, women will want to unbuckle your belt or start sucking your parrot to put you in the mood. Don't let her. Often they are eager for the stick, and they're so eager that they don't bother about getting pregnant, using condoms, or getting infected. But why? Most women try to hide their insecurities and stress while having sex. They know they're not perfect, but they want you to see them that way. One of the ways you can resolve this issue is by letting her know that she's beautiful and that you love her body. Next, you get her clothes off in a seductive manner and you play with her like she's a new toy. When you do this, you slowly begin to understand that a woman's entire body can be aroused. With just a simple stroke on her skin with your fingernails, you can make her drip. At this point, she really wants you to penetrate her. So the longer you make her wait, the better. Don't go for a quick job. Women are built for sex. So don't let your male ego get in the way, and don't let tricky female natures make you come the first time she does. You milk her. It's not the other way around. 5, take it slow. Let's look at this from another angle. By animal standards, sex can be considered a dangerous moment for the female. During sex, a female is vulnerable to attack and social disgust. As a result, she may want to rush you and make you nut as fast as possible. While this may work in your favor as a man, you need to remember that sex is not always about you. You really have to put on a level of restraint to yourself to ensure that you don't blow quickly. Sex should be an ongoing interaction that should last for hours and also keep her entertained. The longer you have her spreading out, the less time she'd have to look for other men, friends, or even female BS. The more sex you have, the more sex you'll need. Women are desperate for entertainment, and what's more entertaining than sex? Also, you don't need to worry about your sexual experience. For now, just everything you do can increase the intensity of her experience. Number 6, take the wheel. Women like to be led. It's subconscious and usually goes without saying, but nothing turns a woman on like a man who can tell her exactly what she wants and then take it. Just make sure to give her what she wants and follow through on your promises. To lead, you need to be confident in yourself. Not everyone's good at sex, but everyone can become a god of the sack if they work at it long enough. Experiences will get better and better. Just remember, we all started somewhere. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Moving on, sometimes women like it rough, so don't be afraid to hold back. Part of being dominant is being as strong physically as you are mentally. Your strength signifies your ability to protect them, and that is just as equally important as what a woman wants in a man. So make sure you convey your raw power. Make sure it's not all choking and spanking. You need some kind of gentle offset to keep her comfortable. Push her comfort zone though, but make sure you support her along the way. You are her captain. Make sure she doesn't drown, or worse, start a mutiny. In all, just show her who's stronger. 7. Remember her sweet spot. The woman has several erogenous zones going from the back of the neck, ears, all the way down to her knees and toes. This may vary from person to person, but there is a way you can know this. Start with a kiss and a nibble the entire length of her body. While doing this, ensure that you remember the ones that excite her the most. That might come in handy the next time you want to arouse her. Number 8. Experiment. Sometimes the missionary position might not be enough and your girl might want to try something new. Don't let your ego get in the way of your progress. As a man, don't be predictable when it comes to sex. One moment you're in the doggy position, the next moment you're spooning her. By refreshing sex all the time, sex won't be boring and it won't feel like a one-night stand. Number 9. Use lube. All kitties are not equal. While some get wet naturally all the time, others don't. So when the occasion calls for it, you will have to use some lube. A dried-up kitty is not enjoyable for both parties. It causes friction, doesn't feel good, and you probably don't need me to tell you that. Same goes for kitties that get wet naturally. The longer you have sex, the quicker the kitty dries up. So, if we've agreed to run a marathon, go get some lube. Her needs before yours. You have naughty fantasies, so it gets you as hard as a rock when you think about them. Women do too. Speak to your girl. Find out what makes her drip. If you know the right spots to touch, you will turn her on easily and also help her quickly reach orgasm if you feel like busting a nut. Don't stop kissing. Let him feel your passion when you bite her and run your tongue around her body. While you're drilling her guts, play with her body and move your hands all over her. Rather than just focusing on the missionary, massage her, stroke her, kiss her, grab her all over. Number 11. Be gentle and let her take control. For many women, their idea of sex is sweet, loving, and emotional. If you find yourself in bed with this kind of woman, try to be gentle with her. Take it easy on her and ensure that you don't hurt her. On the flip side, other women like it rough. Some of these women like to be on top, so if you find yourself with this kind of girl, ask her if she wants to control and follow her lead. Help her climax. That is the peak of female satisfaction, of human satisfaction, and it's the best way to end the show. Starts with the clit. This female penis is a pleasure spot for women, and that's where most girls achieve their orgasms. The second place is her G-spot. It's not that hard to find, but it's a bit difficult to reach for some women. Every woman has a different depth and level of sensitivity. First, start by asking her what feels best in terms of speed, reach, and pressure. After telling you how she likes it, try to find her G-spot. Control your erection better and learn to hold on for longer. If you keep at it, your girl will get to burst before you orgasm. In addition, don't forget to cuddle her when you're done. Women are very emotional when it comes to sex. They tend to feel like the whole experience isn't over even after the deal's been done. For them, they see cuddling and pillow talk as an extension of it. To them, it shows that you really care about her, and not just her body. Does size matter when it comes to mind-blowing sex? Alright, let's get real here. We've all heard the rumors, the whispers, the locker room talk. Size matters, right? Here's the thing, it's a bit more complicated than that. First off, let's talk anatomy. Sure, physical aspects play a role in sexual pleasure, but it's not the whole story. Our bodies are diverse, and so are our preferences and experiences. What works for one person might not work for another, and that's perfectly okay. So, does size matter? Well, it depends on what you mean by size. We talking about body size, genital size, emotional size? Because let me tell you, emotional connection, trust, and communication, those are the real MVPs of mind-blowing sex. Think about it. Feeling safe, respected, and understood in the bedroom can take your experience to a whole new level. It's not about the inches or centimeters. It's about the connection you share with your partner. Pleasure isn't just about what's going on below the belt. It's about the entire experience, my guy. The build-up, the anticipation, the intimacy. It's about exploring each other's bodies and discovering what feels good together. And hey, let's not forget about creativity. Sex isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. It's about experimenting, trying new things, and finding what works best for you and your partner. So if something ain't working, don't be afraid to switch it up. In the end, the mind-blowing sex isn't about ticking off boxes or fitting into a certain mold. It's about being present and willing to learn and grow together. How to know when she's satisfied? Number 1, her PC muscles. Women who experience orgasm have stronger PC muscle contractions. If you are very aware of the sensations that your penis is feeling, you can tell if it's a voluntary contraction or one that's generated by orgasm. 2, she maintains eye contact. After the whole ordeal, just look into her eyes and whisper sweet nothings to her. As you do this, see if her eyes are dilated. It's a sure sign to know if she's satisfied with the job done. She can barely walk. After experiencing a series of orgasms, she might try to get up to prepare an after-sex meal, but she can't. She just lies on bed like a wet noodle with a funny grin on her face. It takes some time before she gets up, and you can see her knees will wobble just a little bit when she does. 4, she dozes off. You know this one happens to you too, right? Your girl might have that sudden urge to sleep after having an intense session. It's not because she's bored or using it as an excuse for sleep. I mean, she behaves that way to the excess hormones released during orgasm. It's a powerful sedative, sex says. And any lady who's experienced an intense orgasm will tell you that it is the nicest way to fall asleep. You can't touch her honeypot. Once she gets exhausted from squirting too much, she's not going to let you touch her clit anymore. You could try, but it would hurt. The place has already become swollen and super sensitive after reaching orgasm. Same goes for men, too. You might get hurt if a lady tries to stimulate your carrot after you release. 5 tips to improve your sex game as a man. Just like I said before, sex is highly mental, and many of the tips I'm about to show you are rooted in stimulating the mental game to make your physical game much more powerful. 1. Learn the tantric pause. The Tantra concept is all about delayed gratification. Tantra believes that by delaying gratification, the reward will be much more intense and pleasurable too. For instance, I've found that one thing I've found out that makes my makeout sessions interesting is that during heavy kissing or sex, I go in as if I'm about to kiss the girl, and then I stop midway where my nose is just about to touch hers. Somehow, this creates a break in flow and it acts as a sort of tease scenario. Being able to hold still while directly looking at her builds desire, excitement, and anticipation. If you try this method, it won't take more than 5 seconds. You'll watch how the girl becomes horny and passionately kisses you. In a way, she lost control, but you didn't. That's not only going to show the power of her desire for you, but also keep the balance of frame in your favor. This also displays your level of discipline. Even as you continue with your bed-breaking sex adventure, exercising some level of self-control is a great feat. Get lost while kissing. This one seems to be pretty similar to the tantric pause. It's usually something I do when saying goodbye or before we meet again. I start by being firm yet gentle with my kissing. Next, I squeeze her body into mine while I do this. Then I pull back after kissing her passionately and smile. Now, this will give her a brief flash of raw passion, and she would want to extract more of it from you. Now, the key is to be firm, but again, gentle. Passionate, but in control. This is one of the best ways you can rev up the engines for an intense sex session. Number 3, smacking her ass when she doesn't expect it. You've probably heard this before, but I love doing it so much that I just had to share my thoughts with you. Now, you only do this with women that you are certain you are going to have sex with, or probably have had sex with before. Smack her ass and glance at her with a smirk and a wink. This subtle action reinforces the playful dynamic, and in a way, you're telling her that that ass belongs to you. Number 4, choke her. Your physical strength can drive a girl nuts if you do it the right way. While having passionate sex, you can use this villainous chokehold to lust her after you. It's best to do this with your girl on top. It can also be done if you're in a missionary position or when you're fingering her to make her burst. Choking should only be done using one hand, and you do this at the top of her throat. If you choke from the middle or the bottom, you're going to put her into a state of panic. And that being said, when she's about to climax, you can use 2 hands, but then release after she orgasms. And this way, it portrays dominance at different levels. She'll be able to feel that your physical strength has the power to crush her. This danger factor creates more excitement. Usually after doing this move successfully, you realize that that girl is wetter than before and even more turned on. Number 5, use your breath to work wonders. For this to work effectively, your girl's going to have to rely on her sense of touch to feel you. You'll have to close her eyes with a sleeping eye cover or a necktie. As she lays on her back, naked, bring your face an inch away from her body and exhale a hot, deep breath on her skin. You can start from the neck and move your face all over her body while exhaling deep, hot breaths. From there, get between her legs and breathe on her coochie. You can finish this move by eating her out or just kissing a little bit down there. This technique puts you in a dominant role as you are in full control over what happens next. Her. Being able to see you increases her anticipation and also increases her senses, intensifies the experience. After spending some time teasing her with your breath, she's going to be gushing when it's time for action. That's pretty much it. I just gave you everything you need to know to satisfy your woman in bed without gatekeeping anything. Let me know if you liked the video by leaving a comment or a like. You can click on the next video to learn more about female nature.